Rescue! Biff and Wilf meet the princess again, another adventure. How can blowing a few bubbles help Biff and Wilf rescue Princess Aisha's sister? Today I'll read a book called Rescuing the Alpha Reading Tree series. This is stage 9-8, series created by Robert Kunt and Alex Brickstep. Wilf had a bubble kit. He and Biff were blowing bubbles. Wow, these bubbles are huge, said Biff. Suddenly the magic key began to glow. The key is glowing, said Wilf. Where will the magic take us this time? The magic took them to a flat rock place. There were no trees and all around them were high mountains. There's nothing here, said Wilf. Why has the magic key brought us here? I don't know, said Biff. Suddenly they heard the sound of an aeroplane. They both looked up. Wilf pointed. There's a plane, he called. I think it's trying to land. It's an odd place to land a plane, said Biff. I hope it can make it. The aeroplane flew around in a circle. It came in very low, then it touched down. The plane bounced on the rough ground. It bumped on the rocks and stones. Wilf held his breath. I think it's going to crash, he said. Then one of the wheels hit a boulder. There was a crunch as the wheel was torn off. The plane spun round and stopped. One of the wings had been ripped away. Biff and Wilf ran to the plane. I hope the pilot isn't hurt, gasped Biff. The pilot climbed out of the wrecked plane. She looked at the torn up wheel and broken wing. Biff and Wilf raced up. The pilot took off her goggles and looked at them. I've had better landings, she said. I know you, said Biff. It was Princess Aisha. Biff and Wilf had met her before in another adventure. Goodness, said Aisha, it's you again. Why have you crashed? Asked Biff. I didn't mean to, said Aisha. My sister Lisa has been kidnapped. I've come to rescue her. Will you help me? Asked Aisha. There's no time to waste. We have to find my sister and get her away safely. But how will we do that? You don't have a plane now, asked Biff. I'll think of something, said Aisha. They set off. They came to a steep rock face. Aisha climbed up. Next, she helped Biff. Then she let down the rope to Wilf. Now it's your turn, Wilf. Tie the rope on, but take it slowly. This is scary, said Wilf as he climbed up. At last, they came to a fort high up on a cliff. It had thick walls and heavy doors. That's where Lisa is, said Aisha. But how will you get her out of there? Asked Biff. I'll think of something, said Aisha, but keep out of sight. Aisha put her hands together, blew into them to make a noise like a bird, and they saw someone wave from a window. There she is, cried Aisha. She's heard me. But we can't climb up there, said Wilf. No, she'll have to climb down, said Aisha. Aisha told Biff and Wilf to keep a lookout. He tried to throw a rope up to Lisa. At first, she couldn't throw it high enough. He tried again and again. At last, Lisa managed to grab the rope. Biff and Wilf were keeping a lookout. They heard something, shouting. Someone's coming, hissed Biff. What shall we do? Try to stop them, said Aisha. But how? Asked Biff. You think of something, said Aisha. Wilf did think of something. He had an idea. He remembered the bubble kit and began to blow bubbles. The bubbles drifted towards the men. They had never seen such huge bubbles before. They chased after them and tried to pop them. Lisa dropped to the ground. Well done, said Aisha. Wilf blew one more string of bubbles. Now run, he hissed. The others ran quickly. See, I knew you'd think of something, said Aisha. At first, they thought they had got away. Then Wilf looked back. The men were chasing them. They saw a lorry. I'm trying to start it, said Aisha. You stopped the men. How do I do that, yelled Biff. You'll think of something, said Aisha. There was a pile of tires in the lorry. They gave Biff an idea. Roll the tires onto the road, he shouted. They rolled the tires down the track. They bounced towards the men. That will stop them, shouted Lisa. Aisha started the lorry. Hold on tight, she shouted. Biff, Wilf, and Lisa cheered as the lorry roared away down the track. "Hooray, we made it," laughed Aisha. "That was great!" The road was very steep and narrow. The lorry shouted and bumped over the rough rocks and loose stones. "Hang on," yelled Aisha. "Watch out," shouted Lisa. "We don't want to end up in the river." Suddenly, the road started to slip away. It was sliding into the gorge. "Look out," shouted Lisa. "There's a landslide. The road is slipping down the hill." Aisha tried to stop the lorry, but it was too late. The lorry began to slide down into the gorge. It went faster and faster, crashing over rocks and tearing through bushes. "Oh no," called Wilf. "We're heading straight for the river." "Hang on," shouted Aisha. The lorry stopped on the edge of the river. The front wheels hung over the rocky bank. "Phew," said Aisha. "That was close." "Now what are we going to do?" asked Biff. "I don't know," said Aisha, "but we'll think of something." Biff and Aisha looked back to the road. In the distance, they saw the men coming. "We better think of something quickly," said Lisa. "Those men will be here soon. We have to get away from them," said Aisha. "We can't let them catch us." Wilf had found some inner tubes in the back of the lorry. He had an idea. "We can float down the river in these tubes," he said. "We just have to blow them up." Aisha looked in the back of the lorry and found a pump. She began to inflate the tubes. She pumped up the last one just in time. The children each sat on one tube and Aisha pushed them out into the river. She jumped onto the last tube just as the men clambered down to the water. "Ha! Too late!" she shouted. The four of them floated downstream on the rubber tubes. They moved quickly down the fast-flowing river. They passed through a narrow gorge. It had tall, steep sides. Then the gorge grew narrower. The river began to flow faster. Ahead they could see foaming water. "This is scary," called Biff. "I can see white water ahead. What if it's a waterfall?" "Don't worry," called Aisha. "We'll think of something." The water rushed and roared through the gorge. "Hang on tightly," yelled Aisha. "It won't last long." "I'm getting wet," shouted Wilf. "At least there isn't a waterfall," said Biff. At last they floated into calm water. "Wow, that was exciting," said Lisa. Biff looked down the river. She saw a boat coming towards them. "Oh, help," she said. "It looks like those men again. Now what are we going to do?" Aisha and Lisa laughed. "We're back safely in my kingdom now," said Aisha. "These are my people." She shook everyone's hand. "I bet not many people arrive here on an inner tube," laughed Wilf. The men said they would take Aisha and Lisa home to her palace. "The keep is glowing. It's time to go," said Biff. "We won't be able to ride on a camel." "Goodbye. Thank you for helping," said Aisha. "Goodbye," called Wilf. "That was an exciting adventure," said Biff. "I like Princess Aisha. She was fun." Chip came into Biff's room. "Shall we go outside to play?" he asked. "What shall we play?" asked Biff. "You'll think of something," grinned Wilf. Alright. That was the book I read, and if you liked it, please put a like button. Also, if you want to see more of our Reading Tree series books, the Magic Adventures and stuff, I recommend you to subscribe and get notified for videos. Even so, I really appreciate for you watching it, so I'll see you in the next video. Take care.